blood makes you related. Loyalty makes you family. And when blood betrays you, it doesn't just hurt. It burns everything you thought was real. My brother and I grew up under the same roof, shared the same food, the same room, the same dreams. He was older by 2 years, and in my eyes, he was larger than life. He was the kind of person who could walk into a room and make everyone notice him. I wasn't like that. I was quieter. I observed more than I spoke. But back then, none of it mattered. We were brothers. We were supposed to be a team. Our father worked himself into the ground to build something out of nothing, a construction company that carried our family name with pride. He started with 1 truck, a handful of tools, and calloused hands. By the time we were teenagers, it had grown into a company that provided jobs for half the town. Dad used to say, "One day, this will be yours. Both of yours. Together." And every time he said that, I looked at my brother and saw the same spark in his eyes. Or at least, I thought I did. Our father passed away suddenly. A heart attack. No warnings. The silence in the house after the funeral felt like someone had ripped the soul out of it. We stood side by side in black suits as people whispered about how the boys would carry on the legacy. My brother put his arm around me that night and said, "We're in this together." I believed him without a second thought, because that's what brothers do. But time has a way of peeling off masks. At first, I noticed little things. He started spending more time in meetings with the lawyers, accountants, and board members. I wasn't included. When I asked, he'd smile and say, "Don't worry about it. I've got this covered," and I trusted him. I let him lead. Then came the letter, a clean, official piece of paper that stripped me of everything my father had built, the company, the house, the land, everything signed over to him. My name wasn't even mentioned. I confronted him. He didn't yell. He didn't even look guilty. He just said, "You're not built for this. I'm protecting what's ours. You should thank me." I stared at the man I called my brother and realized the boy I grew up with no longer existed. People always think betrayal comes with shouting, with violence, but the most dangerous kind comes quietly, a signature here, a smile there, and suddenly your world isn't yours anymore. I didn't fight him, not in court, not in front of anyone. I let him believe he'd won. He moved into Dad's house. He sat at Dad's desk. He wore Dad's watch like he'd earned it. He expanded the company fast, too fast. New buildings, flashy cars, parties that felt more like coronations than celebrations, and people loved him. They always did. He was the successful son, and me, I became the quiet shadow. But shadows see everything. I started noticing the cracks he didn't, a sudden spike in expenses, a few missing payments, strange faces showing up at the office late at night, deals that didn't look clean. He was chasing something bigger than the business, something that would eventually consume him. I didn't want revenge at first. I just wanted the truth. But when the truth is drowned out by lies, revenge becomes the only language left. I started digging, quietly, carefully. Every contract he signed, every payment that disappeared, every fake account. He wasn't just greedy, he was reckless. He'd turned my father's legacy into a playground for corruption. I waited for the right moment, because revenge without patience is just noise. And I wanted silence, sharp, precise, final. I got close to people he trusted. The accountant who always looked nervous, a project manager who'd seen too much. Piece by piece, I built the puzzle. And what I found was worse than I imagined. Illegal contracts, bribes, hidden funds. He'd mortgaged the company's future to feed his ego. I remember the night I finished collecting everything. It was raining. The house I lived in, small, quiet, felt heavier than ever. I looked at my father's photo on the wall and whispered, "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm about to burn everything to the ground." One anonymous email. That's all it took. I attached everything, every document, every transaction, every signature with his name. I sent it to the board, the investors, and the regulators. And then I waited. Morning came like a storm. The company was under investigation. His face was on every headline. The proud, flawless image he built began to crack in front of everyone. His kingdom was on fire. And I hadn't said a single word. He tried to fix it. He begged the board. He called me over and over. I didn't answer. A week later, he showed up at my door. The confident man was gone. All that remained was a broken version of the brother I once loved. His eyes were red. His voice cracked as he said, "You destroyed me." I looked at him and said, "No, you destroyed us." He sank to the floor, crying. For a second, I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. But then I remembered the night he smiled as he took everything from me, the smile that turned blood into a battlefield. The company collapsed within months. Investigations, lawsuits, repossession. Everything my father built was gone, not because of me, but because of him. He gambled the legacy and lost. And me, I didn't feel victorious. I felt empty. Revenge isn't a celebration. It's a funeral. I walk past the old house sometimes. The windows are dark. The walls are cracked. It doesn't feel like home anymore, because home isn't made of wood or bricks. It's made of trust, and trust is long gone. He's still my brother, but now he's just a ghost, a reminder that blood doesn't guarantee loyalty.